had this rear cab trim for a long time, and I tried drilling holes for it. I don't know if I showed that in another video, but I was way off. I don't know if I rushed. I don't know what I did. Maybe I marked on the wrong side of the tape. Who knows? But I was super far off. So I put the cab trim on in this video, and I'll show you some of the other projects I'm working on. And then I think I'm gonna jump up in that camper shell and cut that aluminum paneling down. But I might make that into another video. We'll see. So, hope you guys enjoy. So I had tried to do this before and the holes were way off. So what I did is I put some blue tape across it. That way I could mark everything and really tape the trim to the cab and make sure it looked totally level. I think because the trim has a weird kind of angle around these curves, it didn't sit right. So this time I taped everything up, made sure I liked how it sat, and then I marked where the trim sat on the tape. Then I could just mark on the holes. I don't know what happened the first time, but that way I can mark on the holes, and then I could get everything sitting just how I wanted it. Another big issue you kind of come into with this is the trim doesn't actually fit your cab very well. Unless my cab's super messed up, which wouldn't surprise me at all. I had to bend the trim a lot, and that took actually a long time because that's why I had to keep taping it up and moving it around, and you kind of have to fiddle with it a lot. And the tape doesn't hold it amazing, especially because it doesn't fit the cab, and you'll see that here in a second. There's kind of this big bow on the back of my cab where it doesn't sit in there right. So the best tip I'd say, so that there's not constant tons of pressure on these clips, is to make sure and just keep bending the trim so that it hugs to the cab is the best you can. Another thing, don't bend too hard in one spot because the trim is not super strong, so you can put a big old crease in it. I have a couple spots where you can really see whenever you look down it where there's a little crease in it, so it reflects the light different. But I used some nice scissors to try to hold the trim closer to the cab, and this is all before I took it off a million times and bent it and got it to sit against the cab better. But I just wanted it laid out better. Eventually, I would like a different cab actually, just because this cab is so rough. But we'll see. But yeah, I just used a little center punch. There's six tabs on each piece of trim. There's 2 pieces of trim. So I always use a little center punch. That way the drill bit doesn't slide around whenever you're trying to drill into it. And then I used a 5/64 drill bit. That way you can just use a screwdriver and obviously not have to use the tap, and you can just push the screws in and thread them in. It's a little hard to thread them in, but it worked out. These screws are real small, so you kind of need a real fine tip Phillips head screwdriver. Well, here you can see the tabs. There's some little plastic pieces that I ended up cutting off these. I wish I had a picture for you, but I think it was just excess plastic from whenever they, I don't know, cast it or molded or whatever you want to call it. But these tabs are pretty simple. There's a deeper side, so the screw head can recess down into the tab. So make sure you put them on right. Obviously, you'll figure it out pretty quick if you did it the wrong way. They don't look much different, but it lets the head of the screw sit down in there a little better. And then, as you'll see in a minute, do not over tighten these. I just try to line them up too, so that obviously they run parallel with how the trim is going to sit. That way, whenever you do go put the trim on, you can just push real hard and they clip on. You'll see me kind of fuss with it later, but All I'm doing is moving the tape back. That way I know exactly which hole. Once I move the tape, I can kind of tell. You can see on that third one back, there's a hole right above it. I don't know why I was that far off, but I was that far off. So I did break this clip, and then I tried to get it back on there. It seemed like it was gonna hold, but once I pushed it on there, it didn't stay. It popped back off, but it is what it is. The trim's on there for now. I don't think it's gonna fly off anywhere going down the highway, especially back behind the cab where the wind's not really that crazy. But getting all these on wasn't that crazy. I don't think I showed it in this video, but I did put both sides on and then put a level across the back just so that I could see and make sure they look straight. And I know that sounds like that'd be real easy, but they could kind of have a little bow to them. They obviously, like I said, the trim doesn't fit amazing to the cab. I'm sure I've had this trim for a couple years, I think. It might have got bent up. It's also, it gets shipped. You know, nothing's amazing. It fits the cab. I really like how it looks. But all you gotta do is press these on. They're pretty hard to push on, really, because you have a lot of flex in the back of your cab, especially. So whenever you're pushing, it's kind of just pushing the cab away from you. But eventually they clip on and hold, and hopefully I don't have to take these off for a long time, because I'm assuming I will break all those clips whenever I have to take it back off. But it was a pretty easy process, nothing too crazy. I do like, you know, my truck's pretty rough if you can't tell, but it does, you know, give it a little class. So eventually I'll get that side molding, and I really like how these 67s look with all their trim on them. I mean, I like the other trucks too, but these 67s I think look real good with their molding kits on them. But I don't have the money for the rest of this stuff yet, so we'll have to wait. But you can see this side went on a little easier, probably because I didn't break that stupid tab on this side. But you also had to put that little in-between clip in between the two pieces, and then you kind of have to fiddle with it because it just slides back and forth, so you kind of have to like twist it and get the trim to sit just how you want it. But that's how easy it is. I'm sure you could probably do this in 30 minutes to an hour if you were going quicker than me. Hope you guys enjoy. Also made some picture frames for some old posters. That's me. I'm in this one also, and then I got this poster the very first day I ever bought a bike, is I went and watched this GT show and then bought a bike right after. But trying to get the garage a little cleaner, so here you guys can check out the trim. So this trim goes above that body line on the back of your cab. I've had it for a long time. I've been hesitant on putting it on just because my truck is so rough and this trim's brand new, and in case I ever wanted to paint it, I could pop it off, but I already broke one of these stupid tabs, this tab right here, so I got a little bit of movement right there. But I always wanted that trim on. Eventually I want the chrome trim that runs across here, so slow but steady, get a little bit of trim. What do you think, bud?